assignment for this module asks you to choose a representative work, one that speaks to you, and then to describe what it says and what it means to you. I don't initially make up these assignments, although I sometimes modify or tweak them. And what I always do before I teach a course is to go through and work each assignment for myself, just to get a feel for them from the inside out and to better relate to what you're being asked to do. So I chose my own representative work, a painting by Cezanne, and once I got into it, I realized that it might make a good instructional video because the painting has a lot to say about the ability of art to communicate. Art speaks volumes to those who stop to listen and look. Paul Cezanne was a post-impressionist painter from back in the 1800s. He had taken art classes from a young age, but was actually studying to be a lawyer at a university when, like most artists, the urge to create became a calling too irresistible to ignore. And to the dismay of his parents, Cezanne dropped out of school to paint full-time. This mountain is a real place in France. It doesn't look all that remarkable in photographs, but Cezanne must have seen something there because he painted it over 60 times. What do we see? Well, a landscape with mountain, valley, buildings, road, bridge, or perhaps that's a viaduct. Why are the two trees cut off by the right and left edges of the canvas? They serve as a border or a frame. The viewer is situated halfway into the painting, and thus the frame invites us in rather than keeps us out. Why are the branches blurry, as if in motion? Well, that sets up a kind of rhythm to the painting, keeping our eye in motion. The viewer's eye is encouraged to roam around the image. Why did Cezanne organize the valley in the center of the image as a triangle? The road and the viaduct meet in the upper left, and thus move your eye in that direction. The way the patches of color are played off against each other also leads your eye up and toward the left as it jumps from one shaded area to the next. Why is the space flattened out? It is compressed in two ways. The foreground has been pushed down and back, and that pulls the mountain toward us. The branches of the tree echo the contours of the mountain, which brings them into a tighter structural unity. As a result, a kind of visual oscillation takes place, since if you focus on the valley, you see the mountain as distant. But if you focus on the upper section, you see the mountain and the branches together, which brings the distant plane into the foreground plane. The net effect is spatial ambiguity. Traditional distinctions between foreground and background no longer apply. Visual movement is thus built into the structure of the painting. The visual shifting of planes sets up a kind of doubt as to what is where. And this doubt or ambiguity is analogous to the act of seeing, with all its searching, hesitant glances. What's the natural thing for your eye to do once it reaches the apex of the triangle in the upper left? Jump to the lighter mountains. Why is the top of the mountain peak concave rather than pointed? Well, that serves to sweep our eye to the right rather than up and off the canvas. It's kind of like a wave breaking, washing our eye rhythmically across the canvas. There is a rhythm and power to the mountain which sweeps over the entire valley. What about the colors? Well, the colors, the muted greens and oranges and blues, are arranged in small overlapping patches, which encourages movement of the eye. They have a vibration and rhythm of their own. The color tones are repeated throughout the entire painting. The color tones of the mountain, for example, are repeated in the viaduct, in the fields and buildings in the valley, even in the trees. So there is a unity in rhythm and vibration, even in the way the colors are organized. Remember for a minute what we've learned so far in this course. The term subject refers to what a work of art is about. Form refers to the way the artist has arranged the lines, colors, and shapes to interpret the subject. And content is the theme or interpretation that the form gives to the subject. And in this painting, the subject is a mountain. The form Cezanne has given us includes trembling branches, color vibrations, triangular organization, sweeping contours, etc. And surely the larger meaning has to do with the dominating presence of the mountain. The solid rhythm and the massive power of the mountain roll down through the valley and influence the entire area. But there's even more. Focus your eye, for example, on the top of the mountain. What happens to the rest of the scene? The trees, the buildings, the fields. Well, they go out of focus. We can zero in clearly on only one object at a time. And remember that we have two eyes, so we get two angles of vision on everything we focus on. The way our eyes work is, first, to constantly shift focus, roaming around with lots of quick little glances. And second, we get two views of everything we look at. The mind is like a computer and can take in all the little images, the snapshots, adjust them, interpret them, and present us with a great big composite image. Cezanne, however, was intent on capturing the pristine essence of the mountain before we adjust and interpret and falsify what's out there by filtering it through our mind and emotions. That's why he puts in the blurred edges and fuzzy boundaries, broken outlines and sketchy lines. He's painting the actual experience of scanning that scene section by section, the act of seeing itself with all its doubt and ambiguity. An object is almost there, but not quite. We see something, then it slips away. I would like to suggest that this painting testifies to the power of art, an explosive power that can unleash a ton of insights and teach us to see with renewed understanding. No one who fully participates with Cezanne's painting will ever see a mountain the same way again. Okay, I've gone a little overboard here because I wanted to make a teaching video, but please realize that when you choose your representative work for this assignment, you don't have to write up a formal analysis like I just did. Just tell us how it says what it says to you and why it's important to you. This whole course, in fact, is designed to help you learn to look and listen to what art is saying. Good luck.